Hi, it's me, Debbie again, and I'm back today with a art journal page. So here I'm just creating a background with a stencil, and I'm actually just using a technique I've seen Renje use in one of her videos. I'll put the link to her video in the description box, of course. And so that's what I'm doing, creating the background with a cute stencil, and of course one of my favorite colors. And I'm going all around it, and of course using the leftovers in another booklet. Now I'm adding some distress inks over the acrylic paint so it won't smear the paint. And I'm using, well, kind of the same colors to create a lovely, well, unison of a background. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it all blends nicely together. So today was a really sunny day, and I've been doing lots in the garden, and I really love that we have a garden in this house, so I can be outside, and I'm learning a lot about the plants we've got here, and new plants and plants. So yeah, really like that. Okay, so here we're what we're doing. Oh yes, I've created a it's called tissue paper with just some stamps and paper that you use for pattern making when you do sewing patterns. Is that the correct word? And so I picked a couple of stamps and created some for my own to use. And now I've glued it down, and I'm trimming the edges. Going around all the edges. And it's a little booklet I made myself, just using some watercolor papers, adding different kind of pages. So I have also used a little background stamp with the same color I've used before. And now I am covering up. No, yes I am, but I'm using gesso here for a base to paint the face on. And I really am into faces at the moment, so but I haven't done faces in paint very much yet, so it's still a bit hard for me. So I'm here just trying to create a couple of basic colors to use. And I'm using a base coat here of acrylic paint as a start of the face. So now I'm adding a bit of shading all around the outside of the face. And then I'm using the basic coat again to blend it all a bit. Now I'm sketching, so the eyes, the nose and the mouth, just the way I sketch them when I just use a pencil and watercolors or something, and a bit of a hairline, some brows, and now I'm going to do some shading a bit more into the face, so the areas that are darker, that's what I'm doing here, and with the lighter color again blending it out a bit. I didn't really like the way it turned out a bit, because the colors are very opaque, and therefore I couldn't really blend. So I think in the next face painting I will use glazing medium because now the shading almost disappears. So not really liking that. So I added a bit of pink, and again it totally went pink. So I touched it up, but it took me I think an hour or so. So I left it out, and here I am adding details. So you've seen me shade the face, then I added with a marker just the outlines of the face, and now I'm adding some highlights with some white acrylics, and also with just another color of base coat with a bit of glazing, but not too much, going in again. So that's what I'm doing here, and using a baby wipe to blend a bit. At the end I'm quite content with how the face turned out, but it was a real struggle. So I've left in as much as I could do, but well, I didn't want to bore you with the whole, well, coming together of the face. I'll do one if I'm more confident and my faces go well in one period or something, then will do a complete video of a face for you. So something to look forward to, right? Adding a bit of pink for the cheeks again and blending it out. So it's adding and it's removing, adding, removing. That's actually all I do to create a bit of a more dimensional face. So yeah, the weather and the garden. Do you have a garden at home? I didn't have one before because we lived in an apartment at the 7th floor of an apartment building. So no garden there. I did have a little bit of a veggie garden in bins, but I didn't have, well, a big garden. And now we do. I have a just a garden at the back of my house, of course, but I also have a really large garden at the front of my house. So I love spending time there and just, well, really enjoying it. It's really relaxing. There's of course lots to do because, well, the last the sellers of the house haven't lived here in a couple of years, so the garden was really, well, a bit neglected. But mostly it was just doing some pruning and stuff, and getting stuff out, or removing stuff, or relocating stuff. So it's been fun, and it's been fun to learn about all the plants that are in the garden, and when you have to prune, and when you have to relocate them and such things. So of course I really love that. And you've seen me do some progress here. So I'm adding a bit of the hair, and I'm giving her crazy buns, and I start out with just a yellowish tone. Also the eyebrows, I didn't like that, so I'm removing the eyebrows again. And now I'm using I don't know how it's called, the brush, but it's like a fan. Maybe it's a fan brush. And with a darker color, and very dry brush, I go over the hair again. Also creating the eyebrows with that. Didn't like it as well, and I just used the brush, but the darker color. And that's how I created a bit of dimension into the hair. And also with a lot of pen strokes. I'm adding here. Crazy buns, as I said. Now adding details to the face a bit more. And then my face was almost done, I think. Or not. Adding a bit of more highlights and shadows. I wasn't really satisfied easily at this moment, so adding, removing, you know the drill. So that's just what I'm doing here. Even grabbed a pencil for some soft highlighting. Cleaning up the lines, and now I am finished with the face, and I wrote down a sentiment, and it says, she stared life right in the face and said, "Bring it on," or something like it. At the end, I don't know what I've made of it. We'll see in just a minute. Oh yeah, that's right. She looked so innocent, but she stared life right in the face and said, "Bring it on." Well, I really was having one of those days, you know. So that's what I've created. And then I decided to do a bit of embellishing to the other pages. So I journaled, and I don't journal that much, so I really didn't know how to, so I made a messy handwriting thingy and just journaled about how I was feeling at the moment. And that's what I did, and I added a little sketch of some leaves, of course, a little plant, as I said, some highlighting of it, and I think then I was done. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.